Councillor Tiawan Saye Gongloe, the standard bearer for the Liberian People's Party, LPP. He started his tour of visiting the country. He started October 2022, and we'll get back to him. Councillor Tiawan Saye Gongloe, welcome to Radio BKS.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be on the radio station for the first time.
Okay. Why are you touring the country?
I was elected standard bearer of the Liberian People's Party a little over a month ago, and I decided to go around Liberia to get people acquainted with a person called Tiawan Saye Gongloe. I've appeared on radio stations in Liberia, and people have heard about me all over the country, but not many people have actually seen me. And the first place I started touring was Bong County. Why Bong County? My late mother came from Bong County, so they are my uncles and mothers. And I visited over 35 towns in Bong County in most of the districts in the rural areas. And I was told that it was the first time they were seeing a standard bearer of a party visiting them, because most often political party leaders stop in Banga and maybe sometimes Tututa and Palala. And so they've not seen people go in the rural areas. I want to do this thing differently. I want to go to the people whom I intend to serve and see the conditions under which they are living. So all over Bong County, everywhere I went, people show great appreciation and said, we have never had a presidential candidate come from, a president come from Bong County. So we support you, our nephew, for the presidency of Liberia. Then I came from there and I decided to come to Nimba. I started in Nimba on the 22nd of October, and today is the 31st, and I visited over 62 towns. I started in Banga. From Banga, I went to Lao. From Lao, I went to Zan. From Zan, I went to Buyao, Yamen, Say. I've been to Zor, I've been to Welige. Now I'm in Zoga area. Part of it, part of Zoga, the original Zoga area is Buyao. And so that's what brings me here. I'm going around to tell the people this is Councillor Gongloe, because most of what I stand for has already been expressed on the radio. I intend to fight corruption. I've said that clearly. And I've said I have my 10-point agenda on for better Liberia. I've explained a lot of that on the radio, but people need to see in person who is behind these ideas. And that is why I'm in Nimba.
Okay, thank you so much. Is the idea embraced by the people?
Everywhere I've been in Nimba, I mean, the level of enthusiasm of my people has been beyond my expectation. Everyone is so happy that I come from Nimba and I've decided to run for the presidency. They're so happy. And it was shown here today when I arrived here. Today I was also in Glole, the home of the late Jackson Hebdo, the place I consider to be the political shrine of Nimba County, a holy land of Nimba, because that's the place where the first son of Nimba came from and decided to run for the presidency in 1985. So I went to Glole today, and that was the second time that I've been to Glole, and the people received me so warmly. Everywhere I've been, even in Gomaple, I was well received. Everywhere. There's not a place that I've been that I was not well received in Nimba. So I'm very, very happy that my people have received me so well.
Okay, I am David Bole, a reporter of Radio BKS. Now, Councillor, welcome to booyah to be specific to town. But my question is, in the East, you as a presidential candidate, can you tell us what's your agenda?
I have a 10 kind of agenda, but I can speak a little bit of it. You see this Brom, first agenda is to fight corruption. I have a strong anti-corruption agenda. I consider corruption to be the dirt in the government that keeps government so unclean. So I want to sweep corruption from Liberia. And I can't do it alone, because you see this trend of Brom can be easily broken. Together, it is difficult to break. So I'm calling on all Liberians to join me to sweep corruption from Liberia, so that Liberia can develop, because corruption is the only thing that is keeping Liberia from developing. In fact, it's carrying Liberia backwards as other countries are going forward. Liberia is the oldest independent country in Africa, but it is among the least developed countries in Africa because of stealing in government that we call corruption. So I will do that. I have also an agenda for strengthening the rule of law, to stop all these secret killings, to all these unexplained deaths, a lot of violent actions against other Liberians, so that Liberians are so secure, and other citizens coming from other countries will have the confidence to come to Liberia, because it is a country in which their protection will be secure. It is not that way right now. We intend to also expand the economy to provide jobs for Liberians and increase our revenue intake. But let me go to how I intend to fight corruption. I intend for the salaries of the president, the benefit, the asset declaration, and everybody who serves in government. Ministers, today we don't know ministers' salaries and benefits. We don't know the values of their assets. Similarly, the Speaker, President Pro Tem, and all members of the legislature, senators and members of the House of Representatives, the Chief Justice and Justices, all of these people's salaries are in secret. And we, the people of Liberia who employ them, don't know their salaries. It's funny that people are working for you and you don't know their salaries. The basic reason for keeping their salaries secret is to steal. Because if a man is a minister, and after 3 months he's billing a 5-story building in Wutu here, when you ask him where you got the money from, he say, you don't know my salary and benefits. So the first thing is to know their salaries and benefits. The next thing I want to do to fight corruption is I have something that has not been practiced in any country that I know. I want to check on the lifestyle of the president and the ministers who serve in the executive branch of government. I call it quarterly lifestyle audit. Every 3 months, the auditor from the General Auditing Commission will come to the president's office, me first, and say, Mr. President, we know the value of your assets, we know your salary, we know your benefits. How come you are building a 10-story building in Cllr that is valued at $500,000? Where you got the money from? Of course, it will show that I'm stealing. But I will not do such a thing, because if I were to do that, I promise the Nimba people, the poor Booyah, that as a son of Nimba, I would have disgraced Nimba people. I will resign from office as president of Liberia, but I will not do such a thing. Therefore, if you are a minister in my government, after 3 months to check you, and your expenditure is $200,000-300,000, far above your income, far above your benefits, and what you are worth in terms of your assets, by building 3 or 4-story building, I can tell you I will immediately dismiss you based on the audit report of your lifestyle. And then I will send you to the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission. The Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission is the entity established by government to check on the level of corruption in government and to punish people for corruption, to investigate officials of government when they are suspected of corruption. So the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission will investigate you and prosecute you. When you are found guilty, you go to jail for 5 to 10 years, And all of your properties, including your money in the bank, will be taken away from you and turned over to government. Now, I strongly believe that if 5 ministers or 5 officials of government are prosecuted, found guilty, and they are in jail for 5 to 10 years, and their properties are taken away from them, and their families are suffering, no other minister will want to steal again. And those who want to steal in government will be afraid of government job. Because they will say, Council Gongloe will put you in jail. The President Gongloe will put you in jail for 5 to 10 years, and your family will suffer. That is how we end corruption.
Yes, Councillor, you know, this thing has been said by many people, many aspiring with their coming. And some may like to ask that what you are saying, is this something that you really meant? Is this something that you really plan to tell the Liberia people, or it is because of you are just in the need of the position?
Good question. Many people have said they will fight corruption, but they've never told you how they will do it. I am telling you how. Many people have said corruption will be public enemy number 1 in my government. I will not tolerate corruption. But they have never said how they will fight corruption. Because of that, it has been difficult for the public to judge them, to see, you said you will do this, you will do this, you will do this. I am saying, number 1, I will operate an open and transparent government. And one aspect of the openness is that my salary and benefit as president, the value of my assets will be on the internet, the Executive Mansion website. It will be in all the major newspapers. You will go to your telephone and see it because it will be on YouTube. It will be public knowledge. So now, by knowing my salaries and benefits and the total value of my assets and those of all the ministers, you'll be in a position now to start monitoring them even as citizens of Liberia. So by the time you know that I'm now worth more than $50,000, and as president about $200,000 Mercedes-Benz, even before the auditor comes, you say that I'm not stealing, because I'm looking on the computer, and his total worth is now more than $50,000. So as president, how you managed to buy a private Mercedes-Benz that is $200,000? Even you yourself as citizen, you already charged I'm corrupt. So when the auditors come, and the auditors will publish a report, and they come and publish a report, you say, but the auditor is right, because we know what the president wants and how he managed to buy this Mercedes-Benz. Similar conclusion you reach about ministers, about superintendents, about people who say, because all of them salaries will be there. And when you do quarterly audit on them, quarterly is every 3 months of the year, because there are 4 quarters of the year. So if they do audit over 3 months, and they find out that the minister is billing a 5-story building that is $200,000-300,000, obviously it will show that the minister is corrupt. And then you will ask the question, how can the president not dismiss that minister if I don't? So I've set benchmark that by which the public will hold me accountable, because I will dismiss that minister. If I don't dismiss the minister, you are general. But why? The audit report has come out and it showed that this minister is building a 3-story building that is valued at $200,000 and is more than what he's worth, his salary, benefits, and asset worth. And the president has not dismissed him. So that is why I'm giving all of the things I will do so that you can question me by it tomorrow.
Okay, Councillor, thank you very much. Now, my name is Glenn from Nimba. And my question to you is that you are just an aspirant for the upcoming 2023 presidential election, and you are speaking how your government is going to win. Tell us, where do you get your vote and confidence that you are going to win this upcoming election?
Well, I'm going to win this upcoming election. It's clear. President, we have won the election on expectation. Now, you young people are suffering more than any other group of people in the country. And so you will vote against him based on his bad performance. The first thing he promised was youth empowerment. And the thing that the young people got attracted to him for example, was football. Under his administration, now one Liberian has won any place abroad or any international as a professional player. The thing that made him great, he had not provided opportunity for other Liberians to benefit. It was under his administration for the first time that the football stadium in Monroe was declared unfit for playing international football. And then, why is President of Liberia the only football legend that is president in any country in the world? Sierra Leone, Africa, and Guinea went to the African Cup that was played, the most recent one. Liberia did not qualify. I mean, in his own era. If I'm president today and the coach are messed up and the police is not working, rule of law is down, you say I failed. Because if a man does not succeed in his area of expertise, you don't expect him to succeed anywhere. George will have failed to develop Liberian football. That's the thing that he knows best. That's the thing that the young people campaign for him for. That's the thing that the young people voted for him for. So we don't expect him to succeed in any area because the one he knows best, he has failed in it. So, and I know that I worked with the president of Liberia for 4 years as executive assistant, no corruption. I worked as Solicitor General of Liberia, controlling all the county attorneys, no corruption. I worked as Minister, no corruption. In fact, I have a story that I always like to tell. 1992, when most of you were not even born, I was sent abroad as presidential envoy on a 20-day trip in West Africa. I spent only 10 days. I was given $4,500. When I came back, I went to the Ministry of Finance and said, I have $2,250 left because I received $4,000 from the government for 20 days. I spent 10 days. I cannot justify keeping the other money. The Minister of Finance argued with me. So no, that your per diem. I said, no, the per diem is money you receive to be spent away from your duty station for lodging, for food, transportation, incidentals. I've returned to duty station. After arguing, and that minister is still alive, they call him Francis Carpet. He received the money, gave me a receipt, and the next day he deposited the money in a government account and brought my deposit slip. That's the level of transparency that I have demonstrated. When I was recently president of the Liberian Bar Association or the Lawyer Association, every money they gave me, I traveled to countries when the country I traveled to, when the Bar Association honorized the cost, I bring the money back. As an example, the first money I received, $1,000 US to go to Nigeria. I got there, the African Bar honored every cost, except that when we got to Abuja, I said I have to go back to Liberia. They said that's not part of our trip. So I bought ticket to come to Lagos to go to Liberia the next day, and I paid hotel bill in Lagos. I ate food. The receipts, everything came to $183. So I brought back $817 to the Bar Association. They said, oh, but Mr. President, the money that was for your per diem, I said, it's true. But the thing, the money was meant for when I got to Nigeria, other people pay for it. So I returned the money. That's integrity. Nobody was there in Nigeria looking at me, but I returned the money to the bar. And that was the story of the 3 years as president of the bar. I was always returning money. In some cases, one time I went to the African and the West ECOWAS Code meeting. They gave me $1,000. I got the ECOWAS Code, gave me $1,200 per day. I just left the Liberian Bar Association money in the same envelope and brought it back. That's the level of integrity that we expect of a president. You know, when I'm president, I will be reporting. I traveled to America, I traveled to this country, this is what I received, this is what I brought back for the country. So I'm not just speaking to win votes, I'm speaking about what my life has been, and I want to bring that level of integrity to the presidency. For example, I'm doing everything for a new Liberia. You've never seen presidential candidate coming or in the villages. I am the first in the history of Liberia to be going to the villages to see the people and the conditions under which they are living.
Yeah, Councillor, once again, I am David Wole. My question is, even against There have been some information circulating within our community that Councillor Gongloe will be vast running mate against the CDC government. So, can you tell the public where do we stand now politically for either of the CVP?
I am not a vice running mate to any candidate I know. I have had no discussion with any candidate or any political party about being a running mate. I was petitioned by a group of Liberians to run for the presidency. I accepted that petition December 4 last year. The Nimba elders, chaired by Paramount Chief Franklin Toure, chaired a meeting in Cllr, and all the elders from the 9 districts of Nimba County endorsed that and said, our son, we are supporting you to run for the presidency. The LPP elected me. The people of Bonkande, my uncles and mothers have said I should run. No political party has asked me to be the running mate. And since I came to Nimba, I've been to 62 towns. No Nimbayan have told me to be vice president for anybody. That is not what they want. In fact, they say we want a president to come from Nimba. That's what they are saying unanimously.
Okay, Councillor, let's look at this other issue. There have been information all over in the corner and from Senator Johnson that you want to become president for Liberia because you want to send Senator Johnson to him and other people that have been classified as warlords. So how is it?
You know, if the legislature does not make the law, they will not be executed. And so it's not, we fought war in this country. When you fight and you kill other soldiers, people who got gun who want to kill you, that is not a crime. When you go and leave the battlefront, you kill pregnant women and kill children, people who have nothing to do with war, that is a crime. They set up the TRC and say, anybody who feel they did something wrong to any Liberian, go there and say, I'm sorry. Some people went there and justified. They never say, I'm sorry. Some people who say, I'm sorry, they let them go. I think Butt Naked, is that the guy's name, who said, look, I killed 20,000 people, and I'm sorry for doing that. They let him go. But you kill people, their families are still crying today. Some people still got bullets in their bodies. And you say, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm justifying killing people. Will that bring peace in Liberia? Because the families of those people want to revenge. So, this War Crime Tribunal thing, I'm not walking away from it. I believe I cannot say I want to have a country of rule of law and say I'm walking away from War Crime Tribunal. Everyone should be held accountable who committed crime in this country. You see the level of killing that is going on. There's so much killings going on in the country because they feel that Liberia believes in impunity, that people can do things and go free. Look, maybe some people, it's good for people who are accused of war crimes to even be calling for War Crime Tribunal so they can appear before it. Because sometimes some people are lying on people, some people are just merely suspected. You want to be just merely suspected and you live without suspicion. When you die, then they be telling your children your father was a war criminal, even though you were not tried. Your mother was a war criminal, even though you were not tried. It's in everybody's interest to get to the truth. You see Babo in Ivory Coast? Babo went to the War Crime Tribunal and he was acquitted. He was set free. Now he's a free man in Ivory Coast. Pierre Bamba of DRC went to the War Crime Tribunal. He was set free. He's back in DRC. Anybody tell he's a war criminal can sue you and win the case because the court acquitted him. You see what I'm saying? So we should not let the dark cloud hang over people. I think the issue of accountability is good for all of us. It's good for Nimbayans. It's good for everyone. Look, Nimbayans were killed in the Lutheran church. My own brother, David Gongloe, was killed there. Many people were killed there too. You know, one of the young fellows who supported me in America, Kato, a father, brilliant guy. He was my senior at St. Mary's, Isaac Kato. He just went to final ministry for a pay. He came back to the Lutheran church, hiding there. He was killed along with his wife. His son, maybe he was 7, 8 years old, had to be reared by other people, did not. So there are people living with the hurt. Nimbarians were killed at the UN compound. All over Nimba, there's report that young Nimba children were thrown in a well and killed. So, I don't know why people want to make a war crime. I'm a Nimba. I don't want people to present my country as a country that is responsible for the war crime. No, it's not true. There are people, even the people you name, they now fight in Grand Jude. They now fight in Maryland. They now fight in Lofa. That has so many, atrocity spots where massacres took place. It's wrong for any group of Nimbarians to try to associate Nimba County with war crime as do war crime in Memphis, Nimba. It is not historically true. It is not factually true. There are people who committed war crimes and they were Liberian victims, not non-Liberian victims. And those victims also need they are seeking redress. And those victims, they are Nimbarians who are victims, they are Nimbarians who are suspected. All of them are entitled to justice. The suspects are entitled to justice, the victims are entitled to justice. We cannot purchase under the carpet. Let me tell you, when something happens and there's no accountability, it can be repeated. In Rwanda, there was massacre in the 50s, nothing happened. Then there was another massacre in the 70s, nothing happened. So the one that came in the 90s, they killed more people than the people that had killed in the 70s and the 50s. Simply because those who came to kill in the 90s were probably revenging, and the anger level was higher. It serves everybody's interest to get to the truth of everything that happened in this country. It's not against anyone.
Yes, Mr. Gongloe. Yeah, you did mention something about youth empowerment. And during the election time, we found out that many youth try their possible best from the rain to the sun, making sure that we get the position. And when we fight, last year we found out that we will be thrown away. So you did mention something about youth empowerment. How are you going to work on that?
Good. Thank you for that question. I have a brilliant, comprehensive youth program in my 10-point agenda. Education first. Children from kindergarten, ABC, to 12th grade. Under my administration will go to school freely. Their copybooks, pencils, and pens will be free, provided by government. Their textbooks will be provided by government. Their meals will be provided by government. That's the beginning point. The young people who are riding motorcycles today, the young ladies who are selling the markets, who move from town to town, go to market days, cannot do it beyond 50 years old. The motorcycle riders cannot do it beyond 40 years old. About 40, they will start getting back aching. So my plan is to open technical and vocational schools in the 15 counties for all the young people, some of them are high school dropouts, some of them are high school graduates, to go and attain skills that will help them to live and earn money for the rest of their lives. Because running between markets is only good when you're young. Doing motorcycle is only good when you are young. And also, when companies come in the county, for example, like Nimba and other counties, metal steel, when I say, oh, we can't employ Nimba because they're not yellow machine operator, they're not mechanics, they're not carpenters, they're not this, they're not that. We will provide the opportunities for young people to acquire skills, to be able to get a job, and to be self-employed, to earn living for they and their families. That's the other aspect of it. Then, in the entertainment world, I think that the talents of Liberian young people should be developed, not just sports. And when it comes to sports is not just football, volleyball, and basketball. Sierra Leoneans go for cricket, international cricket game. All of the sports that are played at the Olympic, will be supposed I will provide opportunities for Liberian young people to participate in and be able to compete internationally too, you know, and bring pride to the country and earn money and send some of the money back to this country. A lot of young people are earning money abroad from different sports and helping their country, lifting their country's name up, helping their family with money and sending money back home. Then we go to music. This country does not have theater where you have people performing like Cllr used to be in the 80s, where young people are going and having talent shows, singing, performing dramas. That's how you develop the talents, or you know, and develop your future artist. It's from school days. We don't have that. Cultural performances used to appear at the Cllr. We need to build performing art studios, you know, big theaters, not only in Monrovia but other parts of the country, to promote the talents of young Liberian artists, and then and several other things that I have in package for young people.
Yes, Mr.
That's
Gongloe.
youth empowerment.
Okay, you said that the Nimbarians and the people from Bong, from your mother home, they saw the qualification in you. What have you been doing in the county or in the country that they saw you qualified to bring you on board?
Okay, I served as executive assistant to Amos Sawyer when he was president. 4 years. When you are like a mechanic boy, you're learning mechanic work. You can become a mechanic. I was working in the office of the president for 4 years, writing speeches, writing letters, sitting in meetings, taking notes with other presidents. So I learned president work already. And people knew I did it with confidence. I was not dismissed. I didn't engage in corruption. I became Solicitor General. I was controlling all the county attorneys all over the country. I transformed prosecution. Before I became Solicitor General, all the county attorneys in the country were now law school graduates. I transformed and replaced all of them, put on the law school graduate county attorneys all over the country. It remains that way today. And then I became Minister of Labor. I've completed the only labor law that they're using now. The old labor law, you have laws that violated rights of workers. For example, under the old labor law, to strike in Liberia was illegal. Under the new labor law that is called Decent Work Act that I submitted to President Saye, that is the law today, workers have a right to strike, because strike is the only pressure that workers can put on management, for management to negotiate with them. So we put it there as a right. We have 3 months maternity leave for women. We have 5 days paternity leave for men. Very good law. So many good things in it that were not before in the old labor law. Then I believe in liberalization. I issued regulation number 17 that raised work permit for non-Liberians employees from $400 to $1,000, because at that time, too many non-Liberians had jobs, including store boy job and all that. As soon as I increased the work permit fee with the approval of the president from $400 to $1,000 US, the number of foreign employees in this country dropped and a lot of young Liberians got jobs. So that is my performance. But more than that, I've been a teacher. I taught in adult literacy school, teaching people who never went to school in 1981, or trained as an adult literacy teacher in Ethiopia in 1981. Then in 1982, I started teaching at the university. You'll be surprised to know some of my students are called Joel Howell, the current vice president of Liberia, Justice Kabina Jana from Zoge from Bam, Justice Kaba, the newly elected senator of Lofa Kande, Joseph Chala, former Minister Bernie Samaga, former Minister of Defense. These are all my students and many more. And I think education is the biggest contribution anybody can make to a country. Sometimes people want to ask, oh, what have you done? Or where your hand mark on the ground? I don't like to associate with that, because if you build one bridge, the bridge can get destroyed after 5 or 10 years. But when you put knowledge in somebody's head, it remains there forever. And I've been training people. Magistrates, some of your magistrates here were people are taught constitutional law in the magistrate training school. The current police director was taught A senior officer calls by me at the police academy. So I'm a teacher. I've been teaching all my life, teaching people at workshops and all of that. And knowledge does not, when you teach somebody, the knowledge cannot even be inherited. When you die with that. Thing that is physical, somebody build one school here, the school could break down if it is not maintained. But when you give people knowledge, it is forever. So I'm a big contributor to the development of Liberia.
Yeah,
yes, I built the only a modern library and auditorium in my hometown in Cllr. I don't like to relate to that. Because one day, if they're not meeting, I build and turn it over to government, on a government school campus. And with right by my father's statue, because my father was a teacher for 47 years or so. I've done a lot of other things. I don't like to mention the physical. I like to mention the things that stay with people forever. When you teach people, that one stays.
Yeah, Councillor, you said in your administration you're going to fight against corruption. So all of me left to know, are you in support of the economic crime or the war crime code?
When I was president of the Bar Association, under my administration, the Bar Association, as president, drafted the law on war and economic crimes and led the civil society organization to submit it on June 24th last year to the legislature. It is with the House of Representatives and Senate. They are looking at it. When they pass it, then it will become law in the country.
So you are in support?
Did you hear me? Are you draft something you're not in support? I drafted it. I was president. I started the committee. I drafted it. I submitted 103 copies to all members of the legislature.
Okay, Councillor.
I'm not going to be, one president in, I think, in Latin America, he wrote one book. Then when he got to power, he banned the book. That not me.
Okay, Councillor.
I can't change
in
what
the
I do.
district want to understand. From your previous saying, you stated that your petition by citizens from Nimba and that of Bomb County, in which, of course, Liberia consists of 15 counties right now. So tell us, what have been your message to the other remaining 13 countries, and what have been their response to your request to them about you becoming president for this upcoming?
I'm extremely popular all over the country. I've been a poor man lawyer for 34 years, and my legal services have gone to every county. Those who are traveling with me are always hearing testimonies when we go to places. In Sowenta, Bongani, we had 2 testimonies. In Korkawata, there was a testimony in Bongani. The man said, "Oh, I'll be receiving $750 for my life because of this man." One company, one NGO I was working with, I accidentally they didn't do any social security because of Tiawan Saye Gongloe. I was sent to Ghana. I was treated in the end. Social security said they would give me $750 for my life, and so I got 2 drugs. So I'm billing a third one because of Tiawan Saye Gongloe. The same thing will be said in grandchildren. I represented 18 grandchildren in 2013. They didn't have money. No lawyer wanted to represent them. They charged them with mercenaries. I represented them. They are all out of jail today. I'm called Pulion in grandchildren. In Maryland, I'm called Wamu. Wamu in Grebo means bless us. In Cape Man, I'm called Tunia. Stay here. All of the countries are connected to me. I've been teaching. I've been doing workshops. I've been doing free legal services for poor people, and they've cut across the country.
Councillor Gongloe, we believe years ago, our former president, Madam Ellen Josie once said that the education sector in Liberia is a mess. And since then, no one ever come out to say it is the best. How are you going to work on that?
That's
the
what
education sector.
So, under my administration, every government school, we have a library, we have textbooks. All students in Liberia, I will make sure I have textbooks, whether you're in private school, because when you learn for Liberia. These teachers will be well trained, well paid, and they will go on regular teacher training program. Well, my father was a teacher, and growing up, my father was one of the best teachers because every vacation they used to call them and train them again. They used to have vacation school for teachers, train them on new development of curriculum, lesson plan, all those things, to the extent that all of them were teaching the same thing. I will bring that back to make sure that every vacation teachers are brushed up. They are trained, they are giving continuing legal education. I will make sure that teachers go to school on time. When I was a student, Students were on devotional at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Students were in classroom, but I can observe teachers go to school 8:30, 9 o'clock these days. That's something that you will be dismissed for, because we'll monitor and discipline teachers. We'll make sure that all of the teaching materials are available. We'll make sure that students have science laboratory, they have computer laboratories, they have libraries, and they have textbooks so they can read continuously. And sometimes when they say, oh, these days students don't speak well, I say, if a student goes to school, there's no reader to stand before the teacher and read, for the teacher to correct the words when you mispronounce them. Why will you blame the victim? The students are victims of a bad system that has not done well for them. I intend to change that.
All right, you are intend to change that. That's a saying from Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, and aspirant for the upcoming presidency election right here in Liberia. And the time is now exactly, we have 28 minutes. I thought it either 9 o'clock is the correct time to sit and broadcast to you tonight. And we will then stop here and declare the line open to all our callers, all our listeners, all our contributors that are out there that want to make a comment or I want to understand one or two things about.
I wanted 2 minutes to say something before the.
We just want to declare the line open, then we will get to you about whatsoever that you want to do.
All right.
So the number is 0555 147851 is the station number. 0555 147851 is the station number. You say you want to.
Yeah, I just want to say something for 2 minutes. When I become president, I've already mentioned that students will go to school free from kindergarten. I also want to declare that when I'm president, the pregnant women will not pay medical bills. They will go to, from day one from the pregnancy, they will go to any hospital free of charge. Their children from day 1 to 5 years old will not pay medical bills. Liberian people 65 years will not pay medical bills because they're old, they retired people. I also want to end hunger in this country by buying machines. The government will buy machines and give it to the farmers' cooperatives only to grow rice on a 15-year interest-free loan. And then we'll order the military to plant 100 acres of rice in each of the 15 counties. We'll also try to bring back the old method of keeping the road maintained by bringing public work yard in every county, in the 15 counties, to continuously maintain the roads.
All right,
I wanted to say these things before.
All right, somebody is on the line here. Let's join this quarter. Good evening, caller. Where are you joining us from?
Good evening, sir. My name is Chris. I'm a junior for you for your answer.
All right. Are you aware of the topic on the discussion tonight?
Yes, sir.
Let's hear you.
I want to thank God for more for kids our between Salah and Honorable Legislative Liberia. Because it's so against our brother and our brother was a kid. So I want to thank you for that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, Councillor, once again, you've been touring the county. You've been touring the county there about the 2 towns. Now you have covered. So tell us, what's your message to the people of the Detroit District number 5?
My message to them is, if you like what I'm saying, then I call upon you to support me. That's what I've been saying to other people. And tomorrow at 8:30, I'll be meeting people here in Butu at the town hall to explain my plans to them.
We have caller on the line again. Good evening, caller. Where are you joining us from?
Good evening. My name is Patrick Sengumi. For one, Butu electorate, and I think chairman of the Butu Intellectual Forum.
All right, let's hear
I
you.
really appreciate so much for the splendid presentation he's made, and I wish all that he has said should come to fruition if elected as president of Liberia. But as for the concern which I want him to address, he already addressed the World Bank quote. I want to also know his 100 days deliverable if elected as president. What all should we expect in that's all the day I want him to address for me also.
All right.
That's all I will do for our thank you.
All right. I'll get to this caller, then you will address that question. Good evening, caller. Anywhere are you joining you from? Let's hear you.
And we give information for telling him and share it. But then as we learn in where some people are talking about, I rush to him on the car and he to give himself. And I really wanted to go as he has done it. Because say when he just do it. So I want him to do it so that it can be in Liberia, in Africa or in Liberia. Thank you all so much. That's what bless you.
Thank you. There's a comment.
I think you listen to the first question.
They want a comment. I only one question. Okay. You want me to answer that question?
Yeah, the question I was
Oh, the 100 days. Okay, some of them, first 100 days, I will issue an executive order that any minister or official government that interferes with police operation or the independence of the judiciary will be dismissed, because we have to strengthen rule of law, and the police have to be let to do their work without interference. Some people like to say that my interest there. I'm a minister, this minister so and so calling. Police arrest the person at my interest. So the other Liberian people who are not connected are the only one the law should be applied against. No, the law should be equally applied against every Liberian, because we are all the same. So that's one executive order. The next executive order will be on the economy. I will issue an executive order in the first 100 days to stop the exportation of round logs from this country. I want Liberia to be a furniture exporting country, and it is possible, and we can make money from that. It will create jobs for carpenters. I will also issue an order that government will purchase no foreign-made furniture. We'll only use Liberian-made furniture. That will provide jobs for our carpenters. The money will stay right in this country. These are some of the things I will do. And then in the next 100 days, in the first 100 days, we'll also set up a mechanism, a loan scheme for small businesses and entrepreneurs. We'll also try to revitalize the Agriculture and Cooperative Development Bank in the first 100 days.
All right, you are listening to Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and presidential aspirant come 2023 election right here in Liberia. And Honorable, my question to you again is that you hail from Nimba County as a son of Nimba, and Senator Johnson get to this quarter, and we will get back. Will you be quarter anywhere you joining from? You said a name? Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you.
I was texting
All right, he's saying that you should test your number to him tomorrow.
But you get his number.
Good evening, caller, anywhere you joining from? All right, my question to you was, you hailed from Nimba County, and Senator Johnson also hailed from Nimba County. And he then went around that saying to the people of Nimba on so many radio stations within the country that the people of Nimba should not vote you because your being a member of this upcoming election is not in his favor. So the people of Nimba should not vote you because you are coming to fight him in any kind of way. We want you to address that. And secondly, again, we want to know how prepared are you financially, because this coming around election is not an easy thing. You gotta be prepared financially. So we want to know how prepared are you when it comes to finance.
Okay, so let me say I do not have money, but I have something that the people who have money don't have. I have integrity, I have good name. Because I have good name, the money is coming. I have only one car. Because of my good name, the Liberian living in Minnesota sent me 2 vehicles. The most expensive vehicle I have, Toyota Cllr, I don't have money to buy that. They sent me another pickup. And people are giving me money every day to go to 62 towns. Check on the gasoline price alone, the money spent on gasoline. And I'm bringing about 20 or more people along, feeding them and all of that. So I'm getting money from people like you, young people who believe that I should be president of Liberia are giving me money. So good name is better. The Bible is right. Good name is better than silver and gold. Because you have only silver and gold, you can finish. Good name is permanent. And so I used to worry about that. I don't worry about that now. Because the thing you need election money for is to be able to get around. And I'm getting around. I went to over 40 towns in Bonkane. I've gone to over 62 towns. And when I finish the trip, it will have been over 70 towns. That's the thing we need money for. I'm already doing that.
Yes,
so let me answer the other question. Then you can come in. You talk about Senator Johnson and myself. We are the best of friends. We have nothing personal between you. You asked Senator Johnson today.
Let's take this caller.
Okay. Where?
Hello, your name and where do you join us from? What's your view? What's your point?
Yes. I'm very grateful to them for me to hear President Nimba from Nimba County that my happiness because of my sponsor to hear that President comes from Nimba County. We're here to vote for President who came down from Nimba County. I'm very thankful for it. We're leader for District 5. My happiness, all my women will happen.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So as I'm telling me and Senator Johnson have no problem. In fact, Bobo at one point lived behind the city hall. The last time somebody came to my office and asked that same question, I took the telephone call Senator Johnson. He said, oh, my city hall boy. And we kept a good conversation. He said, oh, you don't have a problem. I said, we don't have a problem. We disagree. He has a right to decide who to vote for. He has a right to say what he's saying democratically. That is right. But I've gone around Nimba and nobody agrees with him. And I report right now to agree with him too. You know, so it has nothing to do with my election. I'll beat George Weah 65% of the votes first round.
Let's take this caller.
Okay, Councillor, you said you will promote education. So what are some of the other, what are some of the foundations that you are laying that the people may see that will indicate in the future that maybe when you are elected as a president, you will do such?
First, I told you I'm a teacher. Yeah? I'm a teacher, and I've been a very good teacher, I should say. I need some of my brothers. If you have a student who is vice president, you can't say, hey, you're not a good teacher.
Hello, your name and where you
No.
from?
Everything that I was with on my place.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. The main for that floor, you just see the tonight. But I mean, there's the Liberian forever going to grow. Because we never really do president yet. I think to all of my studies, the first thing when we just went in the country and Labrador land. So what many people to come back and say we should vote for anything. So the better we say that, let anybody know for that, their position. But then, for the position, in the presidential.
So which means you are supporting it? Which means you are supporting the statement that Nimba is not ready to produce president?
Yeah, I'm supporting because that's for you for another time. And do weekends and
which of course, which of course we have other, which of course we have other capable and competent people to serve as president of the nation. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
So I don't know.
Let me answer that question. Look, yeah, let me address that quickly. Listen, first thing is unfair to the Nimbayans. The 2 times that Senator Johnson ran, he came number 3 and number 4 because of Nimba votes. Clearly, the results show that Nimba people voted for him. So it's unfair to Nimba people to say that Nimba people did not vote for him. But you cannot be president when Nimba alone vote for you. Other countries have to vote for you. All right? The second thing he's saying, I'm not sure, is he saying that I said that Nimba candidate is not ready?
Yeah.
If he's saying that, I bet him to show the recording, I will give him $1,000 and I will resign from running for the presidency if he shows me that recording.
Okay, turn is not really in our favor. I think the body will got to tell you the meaning for you to just conclude. But the last question from my side tonight before I take my lead is that people are saying that you are coming in the race because you are 100% getting your support from the international community. How do you say? Is it true or how is it?
That's not true. I'm not getting any support from the international community. I'm respected internationally, and I don't have any apology for that, right? Because I live a good life. I write a lot about my country. I present myself well. I work with the United Nations abroad. I work with Cllr Center in Ethiopia. I'm really among some of the thinkers of the world. Otherwise, Thabo Mbeki, for example, as president of South Africa, would not quote me. I'm not responsible for being the president. I don't regret. I have no apology for being respected by other people, including Liberians and Americans. But when it comes to support, like financial support and all that, it's coming from Liberians. Some of the people you see sitting around me in the studio, and other Liberians who came to me and said, we believe that you are qualified to run for presidency. We support you.
So as a presidential candidate, can you tell us what's your relationship when it comes to presidential, maybe when it comes to international partnership, right? Your relationship when it comes to international partnership.
But I think I have a good relationship with African countries and with United States, with Europe. Recently, I had 3 hours of meeting with the European ambassador in Liberia, he and I. And let me say this. I went to the United States recently, called by Liberians to go there. And I was invited at the State Department and spent 2 hours discussing Liberia. Of course, I cannot discuss the content of what I discussed with Americans on radio. But the fact that Liberian ministers don't go to the State Department, or have not been invited to the State Department up to now, and as an ordinary citizen, I can go to America and be invited to the State Department. I don't have regret for that. I can take pictures with the city mayor of Washington, D.C., and I can visit other government officials in the United States. This is exactly what Liberians are looking for. They want a president who has good connections with the rest of the world so that he can be able to get development assistance from those countries as well to help Liberia. If you have a leader who is not connected to the world, it's not good for our country.
Okay, thank you so much for your answers tonight, for your view, for the purpose of your trip tonight. And this is my last question. All of what you have said pertaining how to address the education issue, how to address fighting corruption and what have you, do you think if you win the election, will it be applied?
Very much so. I'm a man of my word. And let me say this. I do things that other people don't do, like I'm doing now.
And if fail to do so?
Oh, journalists will raise the issue. If I don't do it, then what am I doing in our office? I'm a transformative person, and the record shows that everywhere I've gone, I've transformed. And I don't say things that I can't do. The things that I'm saying are the minimum of the things that I intend to do. Because these things I'm saying have happened in many, many countries, you know. So I'm just trying to bring them to Liberia. I don't know why leaders have not tried to do that in Liberia.
Okay, that's it this evening once
So
again.
you want my final word?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Let's take a little musical break.
Let's take a little musical break and we'll get back.
All right.
Hello, your name and where do you join us from?
Oh.
What's your view tonight?
Thank you very much for the topic. Thank you for the, that appreciate the good, office in studio. Council, good evening.
Good evening, oh, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Amen.
I'm Pakistan going again. I want to know for the council how soon should we expect his running mate? Him is not joining any of the political parties. So how soon should we expect his running mate? Thank you.
Well, I can tell you pretty soon, but I'm not going to tell you when.
Our folks that it this evening. You are listening to the voice of BKS FM 107.9 MHz, and we have our studio guest tonight, Councillor Tiawan Saye Gongloe, and he had addressed many issues tonight, and I hope you get the answers correct. And we have just 50 minutes left, so we're gonna get back to our councillor for his parting comments.
Oh.
What will be your final words?
My parting comment is not going to take 15 minutes.
Okay.
I just want to say that besides the fact that other Liberians have found me competent to run because of my past record, I have an emotional stake in this. I ran campaign for Jackson Hebdo in 1985 when my party, the Liberian People's Party, was banned along with UPP. I ran campaign for Jackson Hebdo along with the late Moses Jopu, the late DK Wonsele, and Mr. Peter Carmen, who is alive. And we know that Jackson Hebdo won, but the result proved differently. I feel as a son of Nimba that when your father is trying to do something and does not complete it, if you're a serious son, you should try to complete the journey that your father started on and did not end. As a son of Nimba, I'm determined to fight hard in the election and reach what Jackson did not reach, to say that a son of Nimba has finally become president. That's why I've been to Global twice. I feel strongly emotional about it. So, for those who feel emotionally strong about what Jackson Doe's trip was, his journey in life politically, I ask them to join me to complete the journey that our late father Jackson Doe started on and did not complete. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much.